Motorhead Garage, the program that each week introduces you to and shows you how to install the latest in exciting and innovative products for your vehicle. Motorhead Garage is presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. Now here's your host, Dave Dobson.
You can tell by the state of our workbenches, it's been a busy day here at Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. That's because we have one of our favorite guests here, Dave Welch, is in the studio. He's with Brothers Trucks, and Brothers Trucks has everything you need for your Chevy and GMC trucks from 1947 through 1987. And today, Dave, we're talking about the bodies of these trucks. Now,
right.
These trucks, they're 40-some years old, at least, and if not older. And so what are some of the problems these older trucks have?
At the bottom, you're always going to run into rust. Cab corners, they collect the water and they're going to rust out. Bottom of your doors, rocker panels, bottom of the front fenders, and it can just go on up from there depending on, how much problems you got. But Brothers has an extensive amount of patch panels. They even have roofs and front drip rails and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If you check out our YouTube channel, you can just see hundreds of videos I've done on just all different years and different positions of pieces.
And we should mention, we're going to touch on how you've done this, but if you go to YouTube, you do the whole installation process in so many different parts.
Right, we've only got so much time here on TV, but on YouTube we can just have it as long as possible, so the video will be as long as necessary for whatever patch panel repair we're doing.
So let's talk about, this is a mid-80s square body Chevy here, and the body's in pretty good shape. But
really nice shape.
Yeah, a couple little problems here, and we noticed a problem down here at the corner of the cab.
Yeah, I was actually surprised because the doors and the rockers are so good, so just something happened in this one cab corner and that's it, no big deal.
And of course, Brothers Trucks has a solution for that, and that's the cab corner patch panel, and we've installed that. And the first step, of course, we have to take off the bed to get access to that.
Right, right. And whenever you're taking your bed off, it seems like almost every single time there's always at least one wire still held on there. There's ground straps, and other people do weird things over the years. So take off all your bolts, get at least 4 buddies. Don't try to do this with 2. Take your rear wheels off. It's going to be a little easier because you don't have to lift it over the wheels. And then when you lift it up, just bring it up a couple of inches and test yourself. Find that last thing that's still holding on, take it off, then you're ready to rock and roll.
Haste makes waste, so if you just yank that off of there, you're going to break something that's going to cost you a lot more work.
Right.
So once that's exposed, now we can start working on that cab corner. The patch panel is bigger than we needed here.
Right, a lot bigger. So first I'll figure out, I'll grind off all the old paint, and I'll see exactly how far my rust is going up. And then I'll figure a couple of inches above that to make sure I'm in a good, healthy metal. I'll take my patch panel and I'll cut it a little bit larger than what I am going to be cutting the patch panel out of the cab. So this way I've got an overlap. Now, when I cut out my smaller piece, if I try to put it up here and get a good line on that, it's not going to work because you got all this metal down here, and that's going to have your patch panel not go up all the way. So I'm going to cut off a shorter piece of what I need, so this is all out of my way. Now when I put my patch panel up there, it'll be more of in a correct place. I can go ahead and either tack weld it on or clamp it on, and then I can cut both pieces at the same time. This way I know that they're going to fit. Now you still might have to do a little more trimming and grinding and things like you saw me do. Totally normal, but that's going to be your easiest way to do it.
Always important to sneak up on it,
right?
Rather than haste makes waste, like I said, and you cut it too small, you can't get it back.
Right. So if you were to put that patch panel up here and say, okay, I'm going to cut it right here, and you cut the cap, and then you think you're cutting the patch panel exactly in the same place separately, if it doesn't line up, now you got to go behind the patch panel. So doing it the way I do it, you make sure the lines are totally straight on you, and you don't have to worry about anything.
Dave, one thing I love about your YouTube videos, of course, you talk about the how-to of all of this. You also talk about what not to do. What are some of the considerations of what not to do with something like this?
Well, like I said before, we don't want to use the whole patch panel unless we need to, because it's going to be more welding. That's going to be more heat, more time, more chances of rust, warping metal. Because metal, when it gets hot, it will warp. So really what you want to do is just a weld, 2-3 inches, a weld, 2-3 inches, a weld, 2-3 inches, a weld. This was a smaller piece. We had a little bit of a time issue, so I did a little bit closer, but you can see it didn't warp, so we were lucky in this piece. Whenever you have multiple bends on your metal, it's going to be stronger. If you were doing it on a flat patch panel like this, it would definitely warp this up if you did not take your time. So you weld a little bit, you grind a little bit, weld a little little bit, grind a little bit. If you were to weld all of this up and grind it at one time, it's a lot more grinding, and you're going to be getting more heat up. So each time you get a weld, you grind it a little bit. That's going to clean up the slag and any imperfections that are on there, and then you're going to get a cleaner weld each time too. So when I'm going to be doing that, I want to make sure that this line right here is perfect. I'm not lining up anything here and then working this way. I'm making sure that line's perfect, and then I'm working around. So if I was to make a mistake and I cut it wrong or whatever, it's on the back side here and nobody can see it, but that's going to be the killer shot right there.
Working smarter, not harder at Brothers Trucks, and if you sneak up on it, you take your time, you can do the job right, because Brothers Trucks makes it easy. In the coming weeks, lots more to do on this truck, including a door seal next time you see Dave here. In the meantime, go check out brotherstrucks.com for everything you need for your Chevy and GMC truck from 1947 to 1987. We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, so keep it right here.